Trading and investing of any kind carries risk. Everything discussed here is for entertainment purposes only and not to be taken as financial advice because I don't give advice. All right, so like, subscribe, only takes a second, means a lot to me, probably means nothing to you, only takes just a second. Notification bell if you want alerts, and then share it with people. If you like what you hear here, share it with people. If you don't, then that's okay too. Feel free to tell me why. I'm not perfect. I don't know everything. I only know the things I know. So, as I mentioned the other day, I started a room and I am now going to share that room with people if you want to join. It is not free. My time is very valuable to me, but I've met a lot of people who have been in this game a long time. They've been learning from a lot of people. I feel like sometimes it can be a bit strung out, and yeah, I feel that maybe I can do it a bit better. We'll see. Um, yeah, so I will share the information below in the description. So the room goes by the same name, and right now the room is up. There's some members. I'll be putting up a website and all of that fun stuff. But for now, that's where we are. So feel free to check it out. There is no trial, but what there is a lower tier where you can at least jump in the chat and kind of see the things that we're talking about. So there it is, and there we are. So let's talk about where we are, maybe this move that happened the other day, all of that fun stuff. So, and if I miss anything, if I happen to miss a pattern, feel free to hit me up in the comments and let me know. I mean, there are so many patterns that exist inside of these patterns. I'm not going to say it's impossible, it's improbable to see all of them, right? To see everything. So, all right, let's look at where we are. So, we had this move here, and I'd mentioned, the accumulation cycle and this, that, and the other, and we had this pull, which is, what I was expecting. Now, something very interesting that happened was this pop. Now, I'm very curious of this because, if we were to look at the harmonics of a Head and Shoulders, we're really kind of outside of the harmonics of it at this point, right? We're above that 61.8. We haven't hit the 7.86, but we're definitely up there. So, it doesn't mean this Head and Shoulders can't work out. It absolutely could. I mean, this pop, we had a lot of expirations on January the 20th, so that could be a big part of this. We'll see. But again, I trade what I see. I trade what the setup gives me. So let's look at kind of where we are, what we're looking at. So a typical shark pattern, the next thing you look for in a shark pattern would be a retracement up to 50%, roughly. Now, there are ways to determine if we're going to pop above that 50% to create this 5-0 pattern. And you want to learn about that, I'll teach you about it. There's a room for that now. I'm not going to get into the details. I'm just going to talk about the things that I see. So what we have is we have this pattern that set itself up. We're in range of this 5-0 pattern. Now, if we come up here and we start breaking these areas, 5-0 pattern is no longer a valid pattern. When we start popping through here, we're just looking at continuation of maybe a pattern, something like this. Let's see. Possibly something here that might give us a bit of a rip. I'll say a rip. I mean, a push. So this is roughly a 61.8. So let's just call this, we'll call it a Gartley pattern, right? So we'll just, maybe a push to this area here, right around the 405s, 406s. We could do, there's other patterns that this could actually play out to be, right? So just look through your standard harmonic patterns and just kind of get an idea of where this pattern could take us. And then we'll step back and we'll look at these bigger patterns and look at where these bigger patterns could take us, right? And then we have bigger patterns and we'll see where these bigger patterns can take us. And that's how I look at these upside and downside moves as a whole, right? You look at the bigger picture, then you start diving down. What are the little things that could make this happen? Okay. And then we start looking at, in the other direction. So what do we have that could pull us down? Well, we have this 5-0 pattern is technically still in play. We have a head and shoulders that is set up here. You know, it's definitely reaching the limits of what I would be willing to call a head and shoulders, though. That's just me personally based upon the harmonics of it. You know, the fact that this turned around a bit above this area here, you know, it's not the greatest sign. Not a terrible sign. It's not the greatest. You know, we pushed above. So, you know, there's just a few things that really give me, you know, a bit of pause, I would say. You know, my bias is a bit bearish, but it doesn't mean that we can't turn around and just push this thing, right? And we absolutely could. So, what else do we have? So we have this 5-0 that's set up, which would pull us down. You know, maybe we could get a 1-1-3 out of that and then get a turnaround, and we'd have to see what really presents itself after that. We have this Gartley here, right, that could bring us down to the 362 area. Now that's a pretty big move if we were to get that. So we would need these other patterns to really play out to pull us down here, right? And so those are the kinds of things we want to start looking for. So let's see what else we have here. You know, there's outside of that, that's really what I'm looking at. And if I come across any other patterns, I'll probably throw them in the room. And I've made a few other suggestions in the room. So yeah, I mean, this is kind of what I'm looking for. This is what I'm watching for, right? So if you have any questions, you know, you want to throw it my way, feel free. Check out the description. Let me know if you have any issues or questions there. And yeah, as part of this room, I'll be putting together some, you know, kind of self-paced video content to kind of help people understand the, you know, how to basically slowly start trading, or to come up to speed on the knowledge and kind of go from there, right? It's very, I always use the golf analogy. I can tell you the rules of golf. I can tell you what you're doing wrong. I can help you in a lot of ways, but I can't swing the club for you. You have to develop the muscle memory. You have to go hit the ball, hit the driving range, do all of these things and put in the work to get better and improve yourself. So the ultimate goal, like, can you become an 80% trader? Absolutely. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of work, and you have to know a lot of things. But can you become a 50-50 trader? I mean, I don't know if I would use the term fairly quickly. I would say within a year, it's entirely possible, right? You just have to understand how to trade patterns, and then you have to understand stop losses, where to scale out of profits, even if they keep ripping, right? You know, green is green, red is still red. So you'd have to understand where to just cut your losses and get out of it. Even if it turns around and goes the way you thought it would, you can't get mad about it. You got to be pretty robotic and emotionless about this. So anyway, that's what I have for today. So if there are any other questions or issues or anything, just hit me up and let me know. I'll continue to try to put some of these videos together as we go. You know, I'm definitely spending time trying to get this room going, get the room set up. And then, yeah, I think we'll go from there. Here is the thesis for this 5-0 pattern still being in play, but you know, we can talk about that more in the room. So yeah, have a good weekend. The futures market is open pretty soon. So yeah, I will see you when I see you.